The economic damage that resulted from those failures tears at the very fiber of our middle class. While some of the most prominent American financial institutions have been destroyed or badly weakened, the far worse damage has been done to millions of American families who did nothing wrong at all. A staggering 8.4 million jobs have been lost, and the unemployment rate remains near double digits in many areas. Nearly 7 million have lost their homes to foreclosure over the last several years. Millions more have lost their retirement funds or their small businesses in our country. Americans are frustrated and angry, as we all know. They've lost faith in our markets, and they wonder if anyone is looking out for them. Worst of all, as I stand before you today, our regulatory structure, constructed in piecemeal fashion over many decades, remains hopelessly inadequate. There hasn't been financial reform on the scale that I'm proposing this afternoon since the 1930s. Let me be clear. We are still vulnerable to another crisis, and neither I nor anyone else can tell you with any degree of certainty that the American economy could survive another crisis of this magnitude. It is certainly time to act. Our goal of the legislation is to end business as usual and create a system where honest businesses, large and small in our nation, can thrive on a level playing field, where middle-class families can find work and invest with confidence. The legislation I present today contains bipartisan ideas and is the result, as I mentioned earlier, of a bipartisan effort. It does not, as of yet, of course, enjoy bipartisan support. But we do need to act, and I will act. Every day we delay is a day we are unprepared for what's around the corner. A day when Americans who have lost so much continue to lose confidence in our economic system. A day when we are refusing to confront these very real threats to our economic way of life. And so while I continue to work with my colleagues to build support and make a case for these reforms, I am moving forward today. The stakes are far too high, and the American people have suffered far too greatly for us to fail in this effort. This legislation will not stop the next crisis from coming. No legislation can, of course. But by creating a 21st century regulatory structure for our 21st century economy, we can equip coming generations with the tools to deal with that crisis and to avoid the kind of suffering we have seen in this country over the past number of years. So let me conclude on this note. We will have financial reform adopted this year in the Congress of the United States.